We've had a lot of founders and a lot of CEOs in here. I don't know if we've had many CTOs at all. So I was wondering, while you're here, if we could take advantage of you.
Yeah.
And can you just give us some of the basics of how your job probably has changed a lot over the years too? But you know, when you come in as a CTO and not the other side of things, like what is your primary vision, the thing that you have to do? I mean, I guess in the beginning it's all this information in one space, but you have to constantly stay ahead of the curve. What's it like being a CTO?
What's it like being? It's easy. I don't do very much. I just sort of sit around, sip latte.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. What do I do? Well, that's a good question actually, and I often ask myself, what do I do as a CTO? So I see my job as having kind of a couple of facets. Obviously, first of all, I'm the guy who ultimately is kind of thinking about the technology. But as much as possible, I like to have a team of great people around me to do that. Actually, in the day-to-day, a lot of my work is as a leader and helping people get better. I mean, my biggest aim in life is to make myself redundant, is to have a team of extraordinary people around me and help them get better at what they do until they can take over what I do, and I can retire. Haven't managed that yet, but at Songkick we've got some great people, and it's just so much fun, seeing them develop and get better at what they do and get a broader and broader remit. And then the other piece of what I do is I sort of sit as the primary representative of technology in the broader discussion around the company. So that's, product discussions, business discussions, organizational discussions. Whenever we're talking about at a high level, how does Songkick operate? What should we be doing? How can we do it better? I'm the voice for the technology group about how can we bring technology to help solve the problems that we're trying to tackle. So I hope I can kind of influence and shape and say, okay, the world is changing. What's happening in the world of music? How is that changing? 6 months from now, what will that look like? What do we need to build in order to be really effective in that space?
It's a tricky job. It's really a tricky job. It seems like a lot of your job, or is a lot of your job, just having the right networks in with the people at Google and the Facebook and all these companies to know kind of what's coming in 6 months, or to know how to partner with them.
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of partnerships. I mean, partnerships are very important to us. So we have partnerships with Google via YouTube, with Spotify, with Facebook, with Foursquare, with the BBC. A whole bunch of people are partnering with us in various ways. So yeah, that's absolutely a very important part. And so staying on top of their development and how their technology is evolving and their product is evolving is really important. But it's also kind of the macro feel. So one thing that's really interesting about the music market is that live music is replacing recorded music as the principal source of revenue for a lot of bands now, right? So actually about a year ago in the States, it was for the first time in recent memory that overall the music industry made more money from live than from recorded. And that trend is just continuing. So there's this kind of long-standing macro trend that, recorded music is going to become free or close to free. It's already, if you pay $10 a month to Spotify or some other, Pandora or similar service, you can essentially get all of the music that there is, or very close to it, for $10 a month. So each individual record is sort of free at some level, right? And that's the way that's going. I think, this is my theory, is that eventually recorded music just becomes a marketing tool for helping people discover new music, and bands will actually make their money by playing live, which is great for us because we're in the live space. But that's a really interesting trend. And if that actually plays out, what does that really mean for how the business works, how the whole industry works, and how does Songkick fit into that and continue to have a successful business and be hopefully a key player in that movement? So those are the sorts of things that I'm thinking about.